Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Kim Sykes on another segment of My Mind Mondays. Today's segment of My Mind Mondays, what I just want to talk about is just like what I've been going over recently. I said I was going to purchase a book. I actually did purchase a book, and I'm just going to go over this. So the book that I purchased is by Rick Ross. It's the perfect day to boss up, and this is the book right here. So I'm just gonna go over a few things that I read so far. I've read 2 chapters in the introduction. So first, I just want to go over the introduction. It was just basically talking about, his lifestyle, like how he has, 45 cars, a nice house and stuff like that. And so that was just basically just summing up the introduction. And so chapter 1, it was going over like how he caught COVID and stuff. And like at the time period, COVID wasn't a big thing because if y'all know, like in year 2019, at the end of it, when China had COVID, they was pretty much private, and nobody really didn't know the side effects of what was going on. So he caught it around that time period, and so doctor didn't know, he wasn't diagnosed with it or nothing, and so he was just talking about that. And so proceeding further on into chapter 1, what he was just talking about is like when COVID happened, how everyone had to. Basically, we had to shut down and stuff like that. How the economy shut it down, and he had to spend all his time at his house in Georgia, actually Fayetteville. We think it's Atlanta, but it's actually Fayetteville. That was something I thought that was catching and stuff like that. And how he was talking about like how his lifestyle changed a little bit, and how he was able to appreciate being at home a lot more because he spent most of his time on the road and doing shows and stuff like that. So it was just a good time for him just to be at home and be appreciative of the fact that he was at home. One of the things that he said he was able to do was just take care of his yard, like do yard work. He could, he got a 235-acre yard, but what he was able to do is he got his lawnmower. I'm pretty sure it's a riding lawnmower. I don't know the look of his lawnmower, but I'm pretty sure like he had some high tech. He's had some high tech stuff because he had a 235-acre house, so of course he got a riding lawnmower. And also, he said where he purchased his house from, he actually purchased it from Evander Holyfield, one of the known boxers and stuff like that. And one of the things that I thought that was catchy about what he was talking about was how Evander Holyfield house had foreclosed because investments and stuff like that. And also when he had bought the house, he was eventually he was at the tail end of his boxing career. As y'all know, he's a legendary boxer who beat, Mike Tyson, known for that. And so he wasn't able to keep up with the house. And one of the things he was doing with the house was that I also thought that was interesting. He was building up the house, but after a while he didn't have the capital to keep the finances up to the house. And so, like I said, the house eventually foreclosed. And so that was just a sum up of basically what occurred in chapter 1. And so proceeding into chapter 2, which I think was one of my favorite chapters I've ever read in a book. That's point blank serious. I'm gonna say that to anyone. Like chapter 2, if y'all read this book, is a great chapter, especially towards the end. Like that's how inspiring it was. And so with chapter 2, he was just basically talking about how like eventually he was like, all right, I'm not making no money. I can sit on the money that I do have, but that's not what bosses do, and that's not what he's born here to do. And so what he was basically talking about, eventually he was getting that one of the ways how he can make money was just charging for features. And Rick Ross did features with all a lot of top known artists. Of course I'm gonna talk about the artists that I know, Joyner Lucas, T.I., and Jeezy. And so I thought that was pretty catchy, like how you just saying, like, man, eventually there's new ways to make money. You just gotta go out there and get it. And this is where I'm gonna come to my favorite quote in this book. And so I'm actually go to the page. I had to annotate it, and this one was a good. This is one of my, like I said, one of my favorite quotes in the book, and I'm actually annotated. So y'all give me a second. Just bear with me. And what he said is a legitimate excuse and a bad excuse serves the same purpose, to justify failure. Now, that quote right there to me hits me hard because what he's basically saying, if to me summing it up, is basically, even if you have an excuse, it's still an excuse. It's just justifying the fact that it is giving you a reason why not to do something, or why not to go chase your opportunities and go chase your goals. And I love that quote. That's one of them quotes I'm probably gonna have to use one day in my podcast, actually, because like he really just summed it up. Like, we making excuses for what we can and can't do, even if it's a good reason why. Like, let's just say it's raining outside and you don't go running to the gym. You making an excuse. Like, no matter, like, even if circumstances are hindering you from doing it, there's still things you can do to, work out. There's still things you can do when there's something hindering you from doing it. You just gotta find a reason to do it. And also, just at the end of chapter 2, he also talked about, like, for instance, Michael Jordan, when he had the flu game, Tiger Woods, when he broke his leg and still won the U.S. Open. He said, basically, those events, or we wouldn't have known that they had those ailments unless they had went out and performed. Like, they didn't allow that reason to allow them to fail. They still went out there and get it. And that's the reason why they're so legendary. And that's just hard with me too, because like they say, like, we don't know what your circumstances are. Nobody knows our circumstances or what we're going through. But once they find out and you still was able to be successful, that's when people acknowledge you, and that's when people recognize how great you are as a person. So that's just basically summing up so far what I read in the book. Y'all comment, y'all go get the book as well. Like I said, so far it's been a pretty good read. Anybody can pretty much read this book. Like, it's very straightforward and direct, very much inspiring. So like I said, go get this book, y'all. And go ahead and take that time to read it. There's nothing wrong with reading, y'all. And with that being said, y'all, this is Kimberly Sykes doing another segment of My Mind Mondays.